Bro, thank you for tuning. Thank you for tuning. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So hold on a second. Let me get situated. Let me get situated. Let me get this where I want it. Cause I got that. Let me get my Barry White on there before you go. All right. So I really like observation. I think observation is the best teacher in life, right? Observation is the best teacher in life. However, looks can be deceiving. Observation, the best teacher in life. Looks can be deceiving. What do you do? The paradox of, hmm. So today, what I want to talk to about, I want to talk about you only leave work when it's not your life. Think about that statement for a moment. You only leave work when it's not your life. Pasha, what do you mean? See, I had the luxury of a lot of stuff that people would call punishments and interesting experiences, right? But in reality, they're great opportunities. Like going through the DISC assessment, because I was a little different. So when I got to the work site and was working for a little while, some of the upper management was like, "What? We don't know what to do with them." Great overall work performance. Don't always get along with everybody, but who's supposed to? We got to stop judging people. Actually, you know what it is at the core? We need to stop thinking we're supposed to convert everybody. See, that's it right there. We need to stop thinking that we're supposed to convert everybody, meaning that everybody is supposed to be the same. Meaning that you may not supposed to be the same. Yeah, we great talk about what the employer probably don't want you to hear and what the employees always wanted to say today. Let's get to it, man. Pasha bring the truth. So think about it. What shift do you work best on? Put that in the comments below. Is it first shift, day shift, second shift, overnight shift? And why do you pick that shift? What does it do for you? Does it give you separation from the people you don't want to see? Does it give you the rest of the day? You can come in early, leave early because you came in early. Is it second shift, like midday shift, because it gives you a little bit of time in the beginning of the day to get up and do stuff if you want to get it done, and you still have a nighttime? See, I've kind of worked in my life. I've kind of had the experience of working pretty much all those options at different times in my life. And I'll tell you what made the most sense. When I came to Charlotte, the vicinity of Charlotte, and was looking around for work, thought I was going to be a welder. I just got some welding certs, and I thought I was going to be welding. All the welding people, I ain't gonna say all of them, but you're looking. So the first ones you find, the first 4 or 5, they all wanted 5 years experiences. And you know how that game go. How you got 5 years experiences? You just got your certifications. You got like 10 hours. You don't have your certifications. 10 hours. They want you to have 5 years work experience. But it always happens for a reason, right? Everything is always the perfect day. So I wound up working at the place that later was bought by 3M and became 3M, and then 3M life happened. What was fascinating to me, like I said, I don't work day shift, I don't work night shift, I don't work this shift, mid shift, where I had time to get up, go to the mall, buy what I was going to wear that day, put it on, be out at 10 o'clock. I got time to go to the party, got time to go to the club, still got time to meet you here, whatever the case would be. Like, I don't work overnight shift. I done it all, right? When I got here and I got to that place, that was the first place that I didn't have a schedule. Partly because I was like, look, I can do this by myself. I don't even need nobody else here. How many numbers we got to do? Cool. I'll knock it out. Fine. Just give me this. Let me go. Leave me alone. Because what I got tired of, I'll be the person that gets tired of this, right? I don't know how many of y'all do manufacturing or ever did manufacturing or any type of production, whatever you want to call it. But they be calling themselves getting organized, right? Now have like the board where all the tools are supposed to be at, and it's got the little outline, and they'll say screwdriver, and then that's where you're supposed to put the screwdriver, so that when you come to look for the screwdriver, it's right there. And I know it happens naturally, right? For people that, I guess, it happens, right? Every now and then you forget to put the screwdriver back. Man, I be pissed off, man. I be sitting looking for the screwdriver. Like, sometimes it be 5 minutes, man. And 5 minutes in the production world, it could fuck up your whole shit. Like, if you making something and you got molds, or you got things dealing with heat and processes, and you go to, what I mean? But also, that's also your responsibility to check and make sure you got all your shit before you start doing shit. Right? So I never was really a blame person. Like, I never blame anybody. I don't even blame the people I be saying be hating. I don't blame nobody for nothing. I always take ownership of it myself. I might voice the observation, and then, the weak minds will say, oh, Pasha talking shit. No, Pasha's just stating the truth. An observation. Right? But a weak person will say, you talking shit about them. Or if you come and talk about your life, like on here, and I talk about what I'm going through, somebody might think it's about them. I might really have had 4 experiences that day, coincidentally, ironically all separate, but coincidentally all centered around the same topic. And that inspires me to be like, you know what? I should produce some content about this. Or I might be talking to someone, they tell me, I'll be like, yo, that's the issue. Listen, here's the solution. Boom. And then that helps them. And I'll be like, oh, let me go make some content, because if it helps you, it can help 60,000 other people if you share it live. So I do that shit. And then, the weak minds be like, oh, Pasha talking shit about me. No, Pasha helping the community. Because the same issue you might have had, the same problem you might have had, 500 other people had today too. And we can help each other from learning from each other, right? So observation is key. Observation is key, but looks can be deceiving. How's this all tying into you only leave work when it's not your life? We're going to get to that. Because so many people want something spelled out for them in 60 seconds. This ain't one of them. Matter of fact, you thought you learned it in 60 seconds. That's why you don't know it. That's why you got emotional attachments to beliefs. Incomplete thoughts. Why in 7 we dealing clarity? So let's get to it, right? Let's start talking about this shit. Which we have. We've been breaking the ice. So you think you got a shift that works best. I didn't have a schedule, which was the first time I ever worked somewhere where I didn't have a schedule. It was simply like I could literally go to work in the plant because I had my own whole shit. Like, yeah, look, dude, don't put the screwdriver. I ain't complaining. I ain't like blaming him for not putting the screwdriver back or the pliers today or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? But look, let me explain to you what post-traumatic stress disorder does at the workplace. Because you fucking with my quality of life right now, causing me anxiety. I don't even know if I'm gonna go what I gotta go into work to now. And that's fucked up. We're not gonna live like that. So what I need you to do is I need you to find somewhere else for them to go. I'm gonna take care of all this. You give me the number you need per day, per week, whatever. I'm gonna knock it out, no problem. So what happened was I had my whole own shit, and I kept that pretty much wherever I moved to. I just do it myself. There was no need for you to have anybody else there. And at work, I work best like that because I'm a loner. I'm a lone wolf. It's not that I'm not a team player. It's that you can't put me on a team that don't play with the same intensity of perfection. I mean, you can, but what happens is people's feelings get hurt. I don't mean to, but they're emotional. So when you start telling what the dynamics are of perfection or what this is what we need to do, they start telling you how they feel. You already know how Pasha get. And it's not personal. I understand me. See, I had to take the time to learn myself for years so that I can know the effect that I have on other people, right? And once you know the effect you have on other people, turn the mic down a little bit. I think I got some reverb there. All right. So once you know the effect you have on other people, then you can see that when it manifests in other people. And like I said, I don't blame them for feeling how they feel. I understand that I study them, so I know their personality. So I know how their projection issues might cause something, might that's why I'd be so chill. People be like, oh, Pasha ain't say nothing, ain't do nothing, because I understand your disconnect. I know why you feel disrespected. And partly, it's not for me to beat you over the head about you not knowing what you don't know. It's not the fact that I'm not going to expect you to put 20 years into studying human psychology like I did to appreciate what just happened instead of telling me how you feel about it, because you don't know what happened. You just know how you feel. And that's where you hear me say things like, I have to realize I'm speaking to people who aren't as mature in certain arenas. Like, you didn't study, and what I mean is, like, if you didn't study the human mind, then I can't hold you accountable to know what's going on right now. You're acting to the best of your ability. You're doing the best that you can with the knowledge that you have. Am I supposed to blame you for that? Beat you down? That's what you want, right? You want me to fuck you up because you're ignorant. But no. That's why you hear me say that would be child abuse. Why would I beat you down or kill you because you don't know any better, instead of giving you the opportunity to learn so that you can teach the next person that don't know any better? Because apparently you got a circle of them around you because you would know better. And that's not to say, see, that's how I go, oh, Pasha talking shit. No, Pasha's showing you the opportunity for growth. Now, what are you going to do with it? You going to get emotional? You going to look in the mirror and hate yourself, or say, no, I ain't no wrong with hate Pasha? Or you going to realize we could rise to the occasion together? But to each his own. So I just be like, look, I'm gonna do it myself. So I didn't actually have a schedule. I could literally wake up, boom, it'd be 3 a.m. some days. I'd be like, I don't even feel like going back to sleep. I'm gonna just go ahead into work. So I get up, take my shower, I go into work, knock out work. Because it was as long as you get at least your 40 hours, and as long as you meet your production numbers, they don't give a shit. That was the best experience outside of being an entrepreneur or having your own business that I ever had in the workplace. I think that's probably why I stayed there so long, because I remember what it was. And it took, and then I got the other position. So there was a period of time where it was like it was eroding, but then I got the fun position for me, being a critical thinker and all that stuff. It was the leading the maintenance department from the planner scheduler, and then the green belt came into play, and I'm doing projects and all this. So I was having a ball. You know what I mean? I'm doing engineer work. I ain't even an engineer. Like I'm in nerd heaven, right? So the interesting part though was, like I said, I didn't have a schedule, and I thought that was so interesting. I could literally be in the middle of doing work, say, you know what, let me run to the wherever to go do whatever, and I'll be back to finish this up later. Like I could break my day up like that if I wanted to. I could come in whenever I wanted to. I could stay to whatever I wanted to. It was super dope. I never had an experience like that before. And then when 3M came and bought it, they implemented the structure of the shift. I mean, I still did what I wanted to do, you know me. But this is what other people had to fit in. And then it was calm, then they hating because, oh, Pasha don't have to do it. You don't want to. Well, I mean, if you learn how to articulate how you really, the truth of the matter, instead of crying about how you feel, you might be in the same position. Like, I don't come with feelings. I come with truth and science. Like, here's. So, all right, but here's the point. The point of the matter is, you got different things that affect when people want to be at work, right? You know what I'm saying? Energy levels, people be focused on work-life balance, regular health concerns. Sometimes it's just pay. Is it overtime is a problem? You can't work overtime. You can work overtime. Do you have to leave? Can you stay? Customer service, the whole nine. So energy, like researchers suggest that people that have peak energy in the AM. Is that you? Are you what they call an AM person, a morning person, which can help you accomplish more in less time. And this can be especially helpful for tasks that require creativity and concentration for them, right? Then you got the work-life balance, right? So I got these notes here. You know me, I take notes on certain things, and then some things I freestyle. So, you know what I mean? For those who want to have comments, this is how I do it. This is how we do it. It's Friday night. It is too. So, work-life balance. The first shift can align better with your body's natural clock and provide more work-life balance. For example, a schedule that rotates between Monday and Thursday and then Tuesday and Friday every other week can give you a 4-day weekend every other week. How would you like that? Right? Health could be affected by irregular or overnight shift work because it can negatively impact your health. A study published in Neurobiology of Aging found that shift work can impair your brain and body. How you like that? So pay and customer service, right? Now, here's the things though. What kind of worker are you? What kind of worker are you? First of all, are you a worker? Is somebody telling you a time you need to have something done by? right? Or are you more of like a creative? See, that's why you can't judge people, because when you go to the plant, you see there's shift work, there's hours, there's exempt, meaning salary. So are you hourly or salary? Salary. Because salary is like, we gotta get it done, regardless of how long it takes. Hourly is like, I'm here for my hours. Now, see, if you ever took the DISC assessment, because this is what they did. They say, Pasha, something wrong. Pasha might be crazy. We gonna send him to these assessments so that we can understand if he crazy or we crazy. And they found out they were crazy. Of course they did, right? Nah, seriously though. When they sent me to the DISC assessment, what they found was that I was a creative, what they call a creative dominant at the time. They changed the meanings of the letters now. It's like, but the dominance and influence is still the same. I think the S and the C changed. But it used to be dominant, influential, social, and creative. So dominant is the work style that represents individuals who are focused on results, assertive, and confident. They are often direct, decisive, and goal-oriented. Dominant individuals may prioritize control and power in their interactions. The way it was told to us in the experience was they make the best supervisors, because they're going to ram the rules and regulations and goals down your throat and push you and drive you to accomplish or write you up happily. Right? So then you got the influential or the influence people, right? And the influence style represents individuals who are outgoing, social, and enthusiastic. They enjoy interacting with others and are often persuasive, optimistic. Influence-oriented individuals may prioritize social situations and communication. This is why you got the people that keep the conversation going in the clicks. And then the dominant supervisor coming in, what are you doing? Still on break, everybody? Well, you always in there talking, enjoying yourself, right? Because of the influence, right? Or you might just be watching your phone, because that person doing what they love, they enjoy, is being an influencer, and you're being influenced by it, and you're right. So then there's the social category. And the social style represents individuals who are cooperative, empathetic, and relationship oriented. They value harmony, teamwork, and collaboration. Social individuals are often good listeners, empathetic, and enjoy building and maintaining strong relationships with others. And then you have the creatives. So the creative style represents individuals who are imaginative, innovative, and open to new ideas. They enjoy thinking outside the box, problem solving, and exploring unconventional approaches. Creative individuals may bring fresh perspectives and originality to their work. So I was what they call a creative dominant. So they give you this curve, right? It tells you, like to put the D here, the I there, the S, the C, and then you draw your little map, you go through all this stuff, and then boom, you plot these points, and then you got this line that goes like squiggly, like right? Bell curve, S up sideways, S, whatever it might be for you. So mine's was a creative dominant. Like my dominant was like, if it was like a Madden score, it would be like a 98 dominant, 99 creative, socially 5. I'm a Virgo. We be withdrawn. We go in hermit mode. We don't give a fuck. So now, and then what's the other one? Social. So social was like a 5. It was literally like a 10 for me, I think, because my social word was withdrawn, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Influence, I think I was like, I don't know, like an 80. Like I'm influential, but I don't really care about being influential. What I care about is being true, and what you learn about being true is you can't influence everybody with the truth, because some people like beliefs, right? And then that's why my social score was so low, because once you create a trust issue or a disconnect from the truth, or like, I'm not saying you the problem, but you gotta go. You know what I mean? Like, so it'll appear that I'm withdrawing from their perspective, right? Because I'm just going where the truth is, and apparently it's not there. But that's not to say they're bad. Well, it's not to say that. Well, you be the judge, right? So anyway, I'm going to where the truth is. So I appear to be withdrawn. So I'm a creative dominant, right? Creative dominant. You should check and see what you are. And what that boils down to is, now we start to get into, now that we understand that, like, think about it like this. Let me get you a picture up here. Let me see which ones. I got photos. Okay, let that work for a minute. So think about this for a moment, right? How does your work personality blend with your shift? Are you doing yourself a disservice because you didn't take the time to study who you really are, to know who you are? Are you working a shift that could be counterintuitive to who you really are? And then you're trying to build your whole life around the constant trauma. How many households do you think are affected? Like when you see your neighbor having their monthly quarrel that spills out into the yard, and bags of clothes fly out, and the mom comes out and busts the truck window out. How many of those events really didn't start with what they're arguing about, but it started because they worked the last 2 weeks in a block, in a frame, in a matrix that forced them to be something they weren't? I don't want to lose you. Like, don't leave if you feel like that's you because you have a shift, or just think about the healing process. What would it be? Right? So look at this creative thing. It said creatives are individuals who are imaginative, innovative, and open to new ideas. So, for example, I would be at the plant. I was the planner scheduler. I made the schedule for the whole plant, for what the electric technicians was going to do and the mechanical technicians was going to do. And I told production when I needed the machine shut down. And I told everybody how much production they were going to lose so they could make their accounts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, basically, the plant is run by maintenance, because if the machines don't work, ain't nothing going to work. There is nothing being made. You don't have any production. And I know when I first started, my team was like, they're never gonna let us, do that. We're at the mercy of them or operations or whatever. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, you're not gonna be able to change. I don't work 20 different places in 30 years, and it's been the same everywhere you go. Maintenance always gets shitted on, blah 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 blah. And that's how they really felt until Pasha went to war for them. And I was like, no. This doesn't make sense. Look, here's the ROI. Here's the truth. Here's the this. And when you put it on the wall, on the board, and make it all make sense, they realize, oh, well, we've been looking at it wrong. Yeah, because I don't want my guys scheduled to go out there for machine, and you come telling me you trying to meet a goal. How are we going to avoid that? Let me go think about it for 2 days. So now what happens is the shift workers, at the end of the day, I'm in my office. Like, damn, I kind of missed that. I mean, that office was cool. It was a big office. So I'm in my office. And the shift workers will be leaving. But I'm working on a problem. Now, I'm not salary. I'm still hourly. But I kind of didn't have any cap. I didn't want to stay there any more than I had to. But when I had to stay to do something, I guess, get it done. So I'm working on a problem. So to me, it don't matter what time it is. I'm trying to solve this shit. Now, one of the two things going to happen. Either I'm going to finish it now, today, or I'm going to get tired. Actually, I guess it's three things. Or it's going to become tomorrow. It's been a few times I left the office 2 a.m. I mean, I go out into the plant, of course. So let's say I left the plant 2 a.m. It's been times where I worked an 18-hour day. It's been a few times I worked 80-hour weeks. Because I might have been working on $1 million project. Shit, I worked an 80-hour week when I was still on production. Because parts didn't come in when they were supposed to, vendor delays, whatever. And then all of a sudden they arrive and you can cry about it. Or you can say, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna knock it out. We're gonna make that deadline. They're gonna ship on time. So my life is like that though. Like, that's why certain people have certain type of friends or no friends. If you call friends, if you look at it as friends, because you might have a sense of urgency that they just don't get. They don't understand why you got it, why it's like that. Everything is critical. Everything is critical to me. We going somewhere. Okay, let's go. We gotta get there. We gotta get back. Right? And that life ain't for everybody. Like, it's hard to enjoy. I guess for people who are looking for, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's hard for some people to enjoy motion. I think there's people that like to stop and smell the roses. I think it's because they're on a different frequency, right? If you're on a tempo, right, then that means if you can only process information on the down, then you're gonna have to stop if you need to get 10 clicks in and say, oh, that was a nice view. Right? Now, when you high frequency, like when people be talking about, oh, I'm vibing high. Well, I feel like I'm omnipresent. So I can be like, I got the view. I saw it. Like, yeah, I saw it. I seen it. ready? Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny too at the same time. And you know, for me, I'm working on a few different things right now, and I'm just doing me. I went to the store, and guy was like, "Have a good weekend." As I was walking out, it was one of those moments where like you could saw all the numbers and math problems pop up on the screen and be like, it almost didn't compute. One, that it was the weekend, and two, what is a weekend? Like, I know, but then it was like, I was really like, I went into this thought, and was the thought became a fog, and then I went and I ate, and I really came to the conclusion that I haven't had a weekend in like 2 decades. Now, what was interesting is, let's say you're working on something as a creative or whatever. Like I said, the shift workers was leaving the office. If you at home working on, now you go home, you work on something, you at your desk, you at your personal office, right? Like this is a private office or whatever. It's glass, or let's say it's private office. Now, when you working on something for yourself, you your own boss, you your entrepreneur, take a nap. Now, if you a shift worker, I don't think that that's going to be like, they don't want you to take a nap. They didn't want to take a nap in production. Like, what are you doing? Are you on break? Right? It was a problem if you fell asleep at work. Plus, it was in the manufacturing plant, it's kind of a safety hazard. But the point of the matter is, when you're on spot at your own desk, in your own office, in the operation that you own, you kind of do what you want when you want to do it. Now, if a shift worker walks by and see you sleep at 3:30 p.m., they could feel like something's wrong with you. They might actually judge you because they're used to maybe being a dominant shift worker, or they're used to having a shift or a schedule or some sort of control, right? Or simply, they may not be realizing that you take 10-minute naps and work 24 hours a day, 4 days straight. Like, you literally been, before that moment, working since 4:30 a.m. the day before. Like, you on hour number 36, they walking out at hour 8, talking about they done had a long day. Oh, look at you sleeping, thinking that you the slouch. You just put in 36 straight, and you gonna take a 10-minute nap and give 6 more, and then take a 20-minute nap and give 12 more. Because I used to be like, man, what is this sleep thing, man? Like, I sleep 4 hours a day on average when things are good. Sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3, normally 4. If I get 6 hours of sleep, I felt like I slept too much. I feel like I missed too much life. Because the way I look at it is, they say you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day. And tell me what you think in the comments. Well, that's 1/3 of a day, right? So if you live, just to make the math simple, to be 90 years old, that would mean that you slept for 30 years. 30 years. What could you do with an extra 5 or 10 years of life? What could the community do with an extra 5 to 10 years? And guess what? If you one of those people that are stop and smell the roses people, what could you do with an extra 5 to 10 years of ability to stop and smell roses? So what we know is it takes 14 to 28 days to form a habit, right? You'd be surprised what will happen if you commit to something and just see how it go for you. For example, yesterday was what they call a holiday, right? People took a day off, they went and did stuff. So if you worked during yesterday, let's say yesterday was what Thursday. So let's say you sat up Wednesday night, you didn't go to sleep Wednesday, right? You crunched out some work. Thursday came, sun came up. You kept going. You just kept working. You said, shit, I got to get a Monster or coffee or something, a couple cups of coffee, a tea or black tea, whatever it is for you. And you just kept going. Then somehow you worked all the way through Thursday. Then Friday come, you still going, but 3 o'clock, you take that nap. Now, if you're an employee, I don't know. Your supervisor might see you at 3 and be like, "What are you doing?" Maybe you're not supposed to work 24 hours straight, because employer-employee relationships have governing bodies that tell them what they can do. They got someone telling them what they can do, right? When you own thing, man, you can do what you want. So now what happens is when you got multiple things going on, right? Like, look, so creatives and flexible work hours. Creatives often thrive on flexibility and autonomy. May prefer non-traditional work hours that allow them to work when they feel most inspired or productive. So how many creatives do we have with us right now? I know it's 6 o'clock on Friday. This is a low volume live stream, but people, you're going to get it in the future when you figure out you needed it, right? But how many creatives do we have with us? Because when you're a creative, you're creating things. And you don't create on demand. I mean, you might feel like you do, but you don't. To some degree, there's thought processes, there's exploration, there's whatever that you're going through in your mind, your journey, and you're looking for inspiration, right? So this is the difference, I guess, between people who do $100 logo and others. Because one person may sit down, they get an idea, they like, oh, do you like this? Right? I might actually go through 5 or 10 ideas before I say, aha, Eureka, that's the one right there. Like, and I don't mean I have to sit down and draw them. What I like to do is I like to explore stuff in my mind. I'll be in thought. So if I'm sitting here like this, and I'm talking about this for people who go to work, right? And for supervisors and stuff, because I learned when I had to go through the DISC assessment and Wonderlick and all the stuff they sent me to go do to find out about if something's wrong with me, because I was describably uncontrollable to them, I guess. But it helped me when I became the leader. It helped me when I became the leader. Like books like Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek helped me when it was my turn to lead. Like the biggest challenge for me when it was time for me to lead was I was so used to, if you weren't what I needed you to be when I needed you to be it, meaning like I'm cool, I'm good with everybody. The only reason that would come is because there's some sort of either trust issue or other toxic shit going on that you may not see it like that, but I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna just. And then sometimes I would keep trying to give people chances. You know how it goes. And you'd be like, man, this is still gonna be the same shit. Fuck it. Which, as you grow in wisdom and knowledge, becomes more and more a society, unfortunately. Right? This is why we're not social people, some of us. Because we don't want to hold you accountable for the standards that we hold ourselves accountable to, because it will ruin your perceived existence of life. So it's just best to leave you alone and let you go be who you are, because you have a different level of discipline, right? And it's a lot of ways that people can see something wrong instead of just knowing that everybody don't need to be converted into something that they're not. So creatives thrive on flexibility. If you're sitting there thinking about something and your dominant boss walks by talking about we need it, you can't do it any faster than you're going to do it. Right? So you take your time, you live your life. And then when the right moment happens, the right thought happens, then you produce. Then you create. Because that's when you feel most inspired and productive. Now, do you schedule that? Creatives? Did you schedule the last big inspiration that you had? Now, I'm not talking about the discipline of getting down and saying, I'm gonna have a session of 60 minutes or 15 minutes, and you do what you do in those 15 minutes, and you're starting to prepare yourself to go down that path of work ethic, right? Execution. But did you schedule your last inspiration? Songwriters, like artists, did you say, like, I'm not talking about you said I'm gonna go to the studio on Tuesday. I'm saying the last hit song you wrote, the last one that hit, did you schedule it? And if you to the point where all your songs are hits, did you schedule the song about Nikes on Thursday when it was Monday? Did you say on Thursday I'm gonna write this song about Nikes? Or were you just like, I'm going to the studio, okay, what it's gonna be? How I'm feeling today. I got my Nikes on. Oh, I got my Nikes on today. Oh, they ain't got nothing to say. Oh, right, whatever, right? I told the boss, leave me alone, go away. I'm gonna be fucking creative today. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm getting at. Now, dominant personalities like shift work, right? Dominant personalities like shift work because it's predictable. See, they can't write you up. They can't flex their dominance on you if they didn't give you something they can measure or predict. So dominant personalities may prefer structured and predictable work schedules, such as shift work. And I know this because I'm a creative dominant. The thing is, I'm just more creative. So what a creative dominant is described as in that world was I create the high value solutions, which is why I go by critical solutions expert. And then I would give them to the primarily dominant people so they can go ram the shit down everybody's throat that need to be done and see that, pull out the whips and chains and do what they do because they're dominant. I'm just going to create the stuff. So when you see my business thing, creative solutions expert, that's where it comes from. Now, when I saw the problem for you and I give you the blueprint, you need to be the dominant person. Like, I'm not going to babysit you, right? Because I'm probably off helping the next person. If you feel like you didn't have the success you should have had, it's probably because you're not following the instructions I left you with. You're not following the procedure, right? But then there's people who do, and they're doing great. So the shift worker involves working in a shift that can rotate times a day, etc. But this type of schedule can provide dominant individuals with a clear routine and the ability to plan their personal activities around their work schedule. See, remember the difference. When you know you have to work 9 to 5, you start planning on, okay, I can go to the grocery store at 6, and I can be home by 7. I can get showered. I can put my feet. I can watch a movie. Like, your whole life revolves around work. Like I told you, I liked it. You don't have a schedule. You know what? I'd be in the middle of doing something at work. Like, oh shit, you know what? I should go knock that out real quick because I don't feel like doing it later. All right, let me finish this little part of whatever. Shut this down. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna cut out. I'm gonna go do that. I'll come back when I get done. Like, that's flexibility. That's life. That's living. So it really was a great bridge for me personally, to go from the concept of being a standard full-time employee to allowing me to breathe and get immersed into the thought process of having and operating my own business. Even though I don't call it business, just living my life full time. Because I used to do things, but then you're always trying to work around the job. And yeah, that's security. And security is safety. But what happens when you want to take the training wheels off? I mean, sometimes you fall. Like, you see me getting back up now. I fell. Scraped my knee. I cut my hand. But I ain't quit. And I know I don't want to go back because I see where I'm trying to get to. And sometimes people see you, but they don't see you. Like the person that walked by you when you nodded off, like you just nodded off like 2 minutes ago, literally. They see laziness. They see wasted time. They didn't ask, are you okay? What's wrong? Oh man, nothing. I'm good, man. I just worked 36 hours straight. It was a holiday yesterday or something they call it in the United States. And I just worked like 4 shifts of what y'all would have done. So I just put in a whole week since Wednesday of what you would have got done. See, they didn't get that. This is why it's so important for us to know we don't know what we don't know. And I'm talking to leadership because when I was leading my team, I would plan a schedule and I would work my guys, man, because they were the fucking shit. I mean, they were the best. I mean, I guess I would have a bias because, like I said, I didn't have any engineering degree. I didn't have any prior maintenance experience like on that level. So they were all I knew. But I know they did fucking good work, and I stood behind them. And when there was a problem, the problem was on me. Fuck it, right? I'm gonna take the heat. So when I worked them, I would normally try to leave them a light Friday every week for two reasons. One, if we had some issues or something came up that causes things that need to be shifted around, we knew we had a Friday availability. We could move stuff around. And if we were able to knock everything out, then I felt like it was their reward. They deserved it to have a fucking light Friday and have some relaxed time before the weekend. A period of detox. I could make that decision for my team. I made sure everybody understood that I was making that decision for my team. Operations manager, plant manager, and I explained to them why we're going to do it that way. Because I'm about quality of life. So part of the reason why the first year I was in the position, we increased machine uptime by 7 percentage points, which translated to about $2.6 to $3.2 million per production or of production per year, is because of how I invested in my guys. Just because you have a title don't mean you gotta be forced into a style of work. I understood that because I studied this shit before I even got in that position. I studied it because I was studying myself, and I knew, fuck that, I ain't doing it like that. This is how I need to do it for me. You want somebody, then you go get somebody else to do it, but that shit gonna be fucked up. You want it done. I mean, this was always me. This is why I don't understand business people sometimes. The same way I'm talking to you now, and somebody might say it's unprofessional or whatever, this is the same way I would talk to whatever you would call the supervisor or the boss or the HR personnel, because we real. Like, it's not about articulating in fancy words all the time. It's about, what are you trying to say? I'm trying to say this shit's fucked up. How do you explain that another way? At that moment, that's what came to my mind. You felt it. You know what I'm talking about. There's 7 million other ways to say it. Are we going to argue about that right now, or are we going to get the message and move on? Because when you get off the clock and you go describe it to the people off the clock, you're going to be genuine. Now, y'all know I'm an etymology guy. You know I like using grammar because grammar was the original. That's what the word technology meant. The etymology of the word technology is grammar. A lot of people don't realize that. Everything you call technology was originally grammar. That's why they say so much power in the word, because the word was the technology. So, you know, I mean, we maintenance people, man. We coming in, we fixing them. I mean, I'm doing the plan, right? I'm sitting my team out there, but I'm the strategist. I'm the chess player. I'm moving the pieces on the board. And my team go out there and they knock shit out. They come in with the wrenches. They come in with the wire, electrical, and we're going mechanical, and we're going to knock it out. You know what I mean? So we might be a little sailors sometime. Stop trying to convert everybody and appreciate who they are. The same way when I get technical and I be in my technical mode. Like, that's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm rocking like that. I normally do that quite often. So stop trying to convert people. Let them find their shift. You know what I mean? And then what happened is I realized how to make a schedule to even give them little gaps in between stuff, because one, you never know what you're gonna walk into, and then two, like something you could think it's gonna take 4 hours, and then you find something wrong with it while you're fixing it. You don't took your car to the shop and been like that. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this and do that, and you be out of here in 2 hours, and then they come back to you. Oh, Mr. So and so, Miss So and so. Well, this is what we found, and we need to order this and get that. The part will be here in 2 hours, and then we got to do this and take that. It's a complicated. We can have it back to you end of the day, maybe tomorrow. You want to leave it with us? No, okay, cool. Well, we'll try to do it right. You done been there before. So this is what happens when you hear me say you can't be true without consideration of the infinity. So when you go try to pile on 3 jobs on your people in a day, and then something go wrong, now you jeopardizing the integrity of the other 2 jobs, because you really didn't need to have 2 other jobs. You could have spaced things out for the rest of the month and had maybe 2 jobs that day with a gap in there. Now something goes wrong, they can actually go and fix it, resolve it, troubleshoot it with peace of mind. And that was important for me, because when you're on the maintenance teams, mechanical and electrical, in a plant, in a manufacturing plant, you're not talking about like the oven not working. You're talking about machinery. You're talking about stuff that if you make a mistake trying to fix up inside of there, you literally might not go home the same way you came to work that day. You're dealing with voltages that are different from home. Like, you're not talking about, hey, I rubbed my feet on the floor, grab the door handle and shock. No, you're talking about you not thinking, you're distracted. You might not go home the same way you came home that day. I put that level of quality of life into the work stations of my team. So when you look at your schedules, work-life balance and shift rotation, I mean, if you're looking for balance and schedules that include that, shift in work, next Thursday you can do something that you can't do this Thursday because you shift. It was Monday through Thursday today, and then Tuesday through Friday next week. So you can do things on Monday that you next week that you can't do on Monday this week. Or it gives you an opportunity to wait for that Monday to do something, or catch that thing that only happens on Monday that week because you have it available. But I just wonder, like, how many people are actually being forced, because I'm not to say I'm like completely free. I'm climbing there, right? It's a battle. It's a battle. And I had, like I said, I positioned myself in for the last decade in a situation where I didn't have to worry about schedule, because even when they changed the schedule to shifts, I still made sure I was kind of like the only one doing it as long as I could. And then I got my own position where I was the only one doing it. So I still didn't have to worry about it. But I was just thinking today, like, how many people, like, think about it. Your life is, when you're creative, you might be making music. Like, for me, I might be making some music. Then I might get tired of that in the moment. Okay, cool. I got here. Let me stop here. Boom. Let me work on this logo. Like, it's like all of a sudden I'm inspired again. And it's like, where does the energy come from? I don't know. I'm connected to source. I'm omnipresent. And then you're on to the logo. And then you're like, oh, let me do some research. I gotta research this. And like, it's a whole nother energy vibe. So and that's how you wind up going. 2 days go by and you're like, you ain't even sleep, because you just keep, everything's a new puzzle. It's like a new, woo. So how you supposed to keep a chick happy when they talking about come to bed and you like, right? That shit don't work. You know what I mean? So like, raising kids, is that a full-time job, or is it a life? Or is that part of the issue now that so many parents are sending kids to school because that's when they can clock out, instead of positioning themselves to just have like full-time family life? And then the government makes it easy to disrupt that. Like, it's easier for Pasha's daughter mom to be like, she gonna be a United States citizen like her mother, right? And go off wanting to do United States citizenship. When you fall out the sky and you can't, you're not spending $2,500 a month on your daughter anymore, they feel like you're not there, you're not present, because it was never you being present that they were concerned with in that case. So the weaponization of our women and family, we know that. But it's a lifelong commitment filled with tasks that could be considered work. Feeding, teaching, caring. And for those that say child support or people not in their life, then that's like me earlier. Like when they said, hey, look, I said, hey, look, just get rid of everybody. I'm going to take care of this all myself. I got it. If I told myself that, and I told what you would call the supervisor that, or the boss that, when something go wrong, 2 months later, if something went wrong and I don't hit my number, which I didn't have, I made sure if I had to stay late or something, I can't complain. Well, you ain't got nobody over here helping me, because I chose to tell them to get rid of the people who were there helping with me, because I was more irritated with the screwdriver being left out of position, and once or twice a week I had to spend 5 or 10 minutes looking for a tool or something. That's really what it's like, because that's really what it was about. Equate to your mother or son, your son or daughter's mother probably really wasted 10 or 15 minutes of stuff. Probably it was unnecessary, that caused these roller coaster views that made her feel like, and I'm not saying about the true abusive relationships and the true ones that just wouldn't, but the ones that were just separated because the government's there saying, if you sign this paper, we can make it all happen for you, right? Those that are on the line that had no reason to go the way they went. That's really what it came down to. It was like a couple of times a week, the screwdriver, you had to go look for it. And I get it, because I was like, I don't want the trauma. So when I had my team for the first time, a team that I had to lead at a job, it was a great exercise for me. It was a great challenge. It was a new challenge for me, because it was the first time in my life that I had to accomplish a goal with people I didn't have control of, in the sense of I couldn't control who was going to be with me or around me to do it. Because I had the power to do everything but hire and fire. I couldn't hire and I couldn't fire. I could give input. Like when they brought in new people, but I didn't really talk about firing anybody. I'm the type of person who's like, look, this ain't my thing. Like what I do is I like to do the creative shit. Like I'm gonna let y'all experts handle that peer review shit. Like don't get me, yep, I gave them an assignment, they got it done, cool. Other than that, man, I ain't got no, talk to someone else. Right? We doing good shit here. We getting shit done. So my thing is, that was that first time for me where I was like, because I replace shit. I'm like, oh, this ain't working. I'm done. I'll be out. You know what I mean? So We swapping out, right? So the challenge for me there was, can you take a group of people that you didn't pick yourself, and can you take them to the championship? And there was things I had to learn beyond what I knew about myself at that moment, and learn about for the team. But we broke every record. We broke every record. Because I'm agile. And they started off in the beginning like some of y'all. Like some of the people out there, they was cussing me the fuck out. They was talking shit behind my back, and rightfully so. Like I said, I'm truth. I'm truth. You're not gonna offend me. I'm either gonna understand that you're just ignorant, or I'm gonna understand where you're coming from. But some of them had some valid points. Like they really felt like, how you gonna be leading us? You don't know maintenance. You don't have no experience. We've been doing this 30 years. And I was like, you're right. You're right. But see, my leadership style is to include you, not dictator. I'm going to talk to you about this shit. We're going to figure it out. You're going to let me know what you know. You the expert to me. But here, I'm the expert in these categories that's going to make the pieces fit together like you've never seen it done before. So when I come to you and ask you for information and input, I just need you to keep it 100 with me so I can give you the best situation for your life. Oh, we never heard it like that before. Well, if you can show us, and we gonna 2 months later, like, yo, Posh, man, we rocking, we rolling, man. You got it, baby. You got it. You know what I'm saying? And we knocking shit out because now we got a feel for each other. We moving. And there, it's always the one that's like trying to give you some problems every now and then. Well, okay, cool. You know what? Got something for you too. Because I couldn't get rid of. I couldn't just be like, you don't work for me. You know what I mean? But like there was a point where the supervisors tried to, like I said, I told this before, it was kind of cool. Like the supervisors, because it went like this. Like I was down here. Then there was like what you would call our supervisors on a shift. And I went from here to here. And all of a sudden, like I was telling them like what I wanted done, and they kind of didn't like it, right? So then they would have their moments where they try to delay shit. Give you, if I said I wanted the information by Tuesday at 4:00, they would be trying to find a reason why they're gonna give it to me Wednesday at 9 a.m. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And that happened about twice. And then I was like, you know what? Look, y'all fucking my shit up the way I wanted it to be. I understand something happened. If you can't do this, that's fine. I'm just gonna remove you from the process. And then they were like, how you gonna remove us from the process? We're the supervisor. But they didn't realize I already had it figured out. I was just given the opportunity to comply. And I'm not the one to be like, yo, you gotta punish them or do this to them. I just simply said, this is why I'm removing them from the process. And this is gonna be how we do it from here on. And I'll put the map on the board of how it was gonna work and how much more efficient it was gonna be. And it'll actually save time. And everybody said, damn, we never thought about it like that before. That's how we're gonna do it from now on. And then I went back and notified them their attention would no longer be needed in the process. And check your emails. All your higher ups have sent you the approvals for the new process. So whatever people feel about me on a friendship, or I think I know Pasha, or I know of Pasha level, Pasha consistent. Pasha don't treat you one way and then get over here on the job and be somebody different, or get behind my business or brand and be somebody new. Pasha the same way all the time. So the people that sitting there talking about, oh, Pasha get rid of you, and Pasha got rid of his supervisors. Like, it don't matter who you are, because I'm not worried about that part. I'm worried about being true. It's not talking shit. It's telling you how to be true to yourself. Because what I find a lot of people do, go to work, go to a job, go to your job. Go to your job. I ain't even got to tell you, go to your job. Job come out, tell you, We changing this. We doing this like this from now on. This, that, no. Well, what? Well, any questions? No. Okay, cool. Break. For the next 2 weeks, everybody standing around talking shit about how they don't like this, how they don't like that, why they do this, that, and the other. But when they had the opportunity, ain't nobody say shit. Right? So Pasha gives you the information up front. The question is, do you understand the opportunity you've been given? Do you understand the language? Pasha may not feel like going through 70 different versions of saying the same thing over and over again, but Pasha give it to you up front. Now, if I expand on it in more detail, then that's cool. But I haven't said anything that I haven't told the person about a person. Some days I have more energy than others. Some days I might be like, well, I could tell you where you're wrong. I can show you. All right, cool. You didn't want to know because you think you know, but you don't know what you don't know. I'm not in the mood today. But the point was, I still gave you the opportunity to let you know that you were wrong. I'm not gonna argue with you though. Right? So we got the different things, like think about that, raising kids, think about being an artist. We talked about that. Think about being an entrepreneur. You all seen the memes of the office building tower. Damn. Kind of like this. I guess I'm living in a meme. But we all seen that meme where it was the office building with the one light on and like the rest of the city was dark, and then they put up there some phrase about the entrepreneur. I guess that's me. You know what I mean? I'm just doing the best I can. How about athletes, right? Professional athletes spend countless hours training, practicing, competing. Their sport is not just a job, but a way of life. You live, you breathe, you die the sport. It takes hard work and dedication. It's their passion. It's not just a job. What happens when what you do is not just your job, but your life? Do you ever put it down? You seen 85 talking about the chef keep cooking. Chef is a good example. Cooking is not just a job, but a passion. Teachers, farmers. I know from being a photographer. What about the humanitarian workers? Do they have shifts? If you saw the humanitarian worker out there doing a thing, 15 hours into it, dusty, or whatever the case might be, finally get to sit down in a chair, grab a bottle of water, and they take a little snore, you judge them the same way? You gotta just look at it like that, people. So when you look at the post-traumatic stress disorders from the workplace that's killing people, your shift could be a good part of it. So if you got comments, feel free to direct them to me. We can talk about it. Or continue to talk amongst yourselves. And see how that goes for you. Remember, the reason why you might walk past the person and judge them incorrectly is only because your core surroundings haven't enlightened you beyond your current state of thought process. That's all that separates people with thought process. Pasha Paro, Y7. You only leave work when it's not your life. And if it's not your life, then who life you living?